The silence that followed Elias's declaration felt like thunder. Everyone in the room froze, watching Marcus Vale, the man who rarely blinked, rarely hesitated as he processed what he'd just heard. The guards shifted awkwardly, caught in a moment that felt suddenly sacred. The air had changed. Leah, however, was untouched by the weight of the moment. Her world was still the terminal. Her eyes scanned logs with focused precision. Her fingers darted like dragonflies across keys. And in her mind, the maze unfolded layer by layer. But inside her chest, something had shifted. For the first time in her life, someone, not her mother, not the dusty notebooks, not the broken radios at home, but someone from the world of sleek suits and clean glass walls had stood up for her. Not out of pity, out of belief. She heard nothing of the murmurs behind the glass. She didn't see the way Elias had stood like a shield, or how the engineers had slowly stopped dismissing her and started documenting her steps. All she knew was this: the system was beatable, and she was close. Inside the terminal, the breach's architecture had begun to reveal its spine. It was elegant, yes, but flawed. Designed by someone who understood systems, but not people. It relied on fear, on hesitation, on everyone believing the only way forward was through brute power. But Leah had learned that power wasn't always loud. Sometimes it was quiet, focused, unseen. She spotted it, a recursive echo buried 3 levels deep, a line of injected code looping through decoy protocols. It wasn't trying to destroy, it was rerouting, waiting. A digital hostage situation, and then, finally, she did something no one expected. She stepped back, not in retreat, but in trust. "I need the CEO's tablet," she said quietly. Marcus, still watching her like she was some unsolvable riddle, narrowed his eyes. "Why?" Leah turned, finally meeting his gaze. "Because the back door was created using your device's private key. The breach didn't start in the system. It started in a shared folder on your tablet, synced to the cloud, before security updates were pushed." Marcus crouched beside her. "That's not true anymore." She blinked, unsure how to respond. He didn't press and instead turned to Elias. "What's her name?" "Leah," Elias said. "She's the janitor's daughter." Marcus paused, then walked to the middle of the room and said something no one expected to hear. "Leah will be enrolled in the Virion Fellowship program immediately. Full scholarship, equipment, mentorship, and a title." The crowd murmured. He turned to her again. "You're our youngest ever systems consultant, Leah. Effective now." And just like that, the girl who had once been invisible, the girl who watched the world from lobby corners and sketched futures no one else could see, was finally seen. As the crowd began to dissipate, still stunned, still buzzing, Leah walked back toward the bench where her day had started. She looked out the lobby windows at the buses lining up, her notebook still warm in her hands. Her mother stood there, waiting, mop in hand, eyes wide. "What did you do?" she whispered. Leah smiled faintly. "I fixed something." Her mother looked toward the crowd behind the glass, toward the CEO now calling for press releases and photos, toward Elias standing like a proud brother at Leah's side. And then, for the first time, her mother dropped the mop, crossed the floor, and hugged her daughter in front of everyone. No shame, no secrecy, just pride. And when Leah hugged her back, her voice was no longer small. "I'm not invisible anymore." Moral: never underestimate the quiet ones. Brilliance doesn't always wear a badge or speak loudly in rooms. Sometimes it's the kid in the corner with a pencil and a dream who saves the day. And when power finally sees the unseen worlds change,